What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Outlook Industries podcast. It's your host, Trevor Johnson, back in the studio in Rapid City, South Dakota, bringing you some great action sports content like always. Today, I have an employee at the Vault, someone who does all their social media, Matisse Hawthorne. This guy, super nice, super chill, seems like just an awesome homie. I was super happy that he was able to sit down with me today and talk about Instagram content, talk about just kind of his life plans and his experience at the Vault Pro scooters and just everything around that. Because when you think of scootering, like the Vault Pro scooters comes to mind. Like that's like what a lot of us grew up on. That's where you get most of your parts. They're like the main supplier in the United States. So yeah, the Vault is the move. So yeah, guys, I actually, at the end of this podcast, I didn't end up shouting out his Instagram. So it is Matisse Hawthorne on Instagram, or he runs the Vault Pro Scooters main Instagram page. So go follow both of those if you're not already. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. Let's get right into this episode.
It's the Outlook Podcast. We're here at the Outlook Podcast. Just we're here. We're talking to cool people.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Outlook Industries podcast. It's your host, Trevor Johnson, back with you with another episode and another great guest. How you doing, Matisse?
Pretty good. I'm stoked to be here. I'm just ready to get started.
Yeah, of course.
Talk about everything.
It's going to be awesome. I'm super thankful that you could take some time out and come talk to us. When you think about scootering, one of the first things that comes up is the Vault. So I wanted to talk to some people that are involved with that. First off, let's kind of talk about who you are, how long you've been scootering, how old you are, where you live, just that kind of basic stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So first off, my name is Matisse Hawthorne. I work here at the Vault as the social media manager and the photographer. So pretty much everything you see on Instagram, Facebook too, sometimes YouTube, pretty much all goes through me. So I'm out here just shooting photos, just making posts, stuff like that. I've been scootering for about, I'd say 8 to 9 years now. So I wouldn't necessarily say I'm OG, but I'm like the step before OG. But I've pretty much been through it all. I've seen scootering grow from nothing to where it is now today. So it's pretty sick.
Yeah, that's cool. That's about how long I've been scootering too. So we kind of came into the sport at the same time, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
What do you do as far as social media? Do you edit? Do you take the photos? Do you do it all? What kind of are you involved in that way?
Yeah. So I am blessed enough to be able to work in the studio that's over here. So pretty much the way that the Vault is laid out is you have the storefront at the front of the store. You go back behind it. That's the whole warehouse. That's where everything is basically just packed, shipped. So if you ever order anything from the Vault, you get it from there. It's all packed by all the employees, and most of the employees do ride. So it's pretty sick. It's not necessarily rider owned, but it's employed by riders. But then right behind that is the studio. And the studio has basically 2 setups right now. So we have the original setup, which I'm sure if you've seen a custom build before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And we also have a new setup that we just made. So pretty much in there, I'll be shooting photos of products. So if we get in a new shipment from let's say North or Envy, I'll pretty much go and shoot some photos of that. I'll make Instagram posts. So every single day we post twice. So I'll post one riding content and then one just scooter photo.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. That's pretty much the main part of what I do. I'll take thumbnail photos. I'll assist in filming the YouTube videos sometimes. But for the most part, it's mostly media.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, cool. That's really cool. Before we get into more about the Vault, let's talk more about you. How did you get into scootering? What did you do before you scootered? And have you lived anywhere else? Where did you grow up?
Got you. So I grew up in LA. Pretty blessed to be able to ride down here. But I'd say one of the more downfalls of being a scooter rider in LA, besides having the Vault here, is the parks aren't the best. I don't know where you're from. Where are you from?
South Dakota, and we don't really have parks. Like,
Okay, maybe I should tone that back a little bit, because we have a good amount of parks. They're just not like if you want to be a park rider, it's just not the best. You don't have a lot of fly out box jumps.
They're kind of old, aren't they? Most of the parks.
Yeah, I'd say a good amount. There's like maybe 3 or 4 that are kind of new. We've been blessed enough to have a few skate parks built in the last like 4 years. But the thing about them is all of our skate parks are mostly like street oriented. So if you wanted to do like anything park, like you're in the wrong city.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I've been a hockey player for the last 16, 17 years of my life.
Okay.
And I'd say like the last 8 years, there's like a split between like wanting to play hockey and wanting to scooter all the time. But yeah, it's been a weird ride.
Yeah.
At least.
How, living in LA, did you get into hockey?
Oh, it's weird. My grandpa is Canadian, and he moved down here from Canada. And as a kid, like maybe since I was like 4 or 5, I was just bred into it. And I had a friend at school that also played, and we just pretty much clicked like that and got into the sport. And I'd say over the last few years, I've gotten more into hockey than I have scootering. Mm-hmm. Like my love for scootering has kind of died down a little bit just because of all the injuries I've had to go through. And it's just been so like draining. But,
yeah, I totally understand that, especially if you get like you have an injury that just like keeps compounding.
Dude, yeah.
I don't know what your situation's like. So what injuries have you been through lately?
Okay, so I mean, everyone that scooters has at least like rolled an ankle. At least one point in their career, they rolled an ankle, like, you know, maybe like sprained the wrist. I'd say that's like one of those compounding injuries where it's just coming back all the time. And it's kind of scary because I always think about like how I'm going to be in my like 80s or 70s. And I know I'm going to be on like a walker, or like I'm going to need at least a cane because my ankles are just done. Like if they're hurting now, like I can only imagine how it's going to be like 40 years down the line.
I am the same way. I'm just building the arthritis. And then I had an injury like 2 years ago. Right. So I was doing like a finger whip to can plant. My heel got caught up on my deck, and then I landed 1 foot on my ankle rolled. So they thought my leg was broken first off, but I think I just dislocated my ankle. So I did like 3 or 4 x-rays trying to find something broken because they were sure it was broken because I had like it all on video and whatnot. So they're like, yeah, you broke it. And that injury, they casted me for that sprain, and that lasted me that was like a 2-year recovery process. And then when they're x-raying it, they're like, oh, you have so many bone spurs in your ankles.
Oh my God.
And I was like, yeah, I'm at like 30. I'm going to have arthritis. Like, that's just how it's going to be. My ankles already don't move. So yeah, ankle injuries are the worst. Yeah,
dude. And it kind of sucks because maybe like 3-4 years ago when I was like riding pretty much every day, I would think about it. I'd be like, you know what? It was worth it. All this scootering, like all this pain, injury, it's so worth it. Like all the memories I've made. But now I'm 4 years down the line, I'm really like feeling it. Dang, like I don't know if it was worth it. But besides like the plain old like ankle and wrist injuries, I recently went through a knee injury, which has been so. Am I allowed to cuss on the podcast?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Yeah, it's basically just been so shitty because it put me out for over a year. And one of the cool things about working in the vault is I've been blessed enough to meet a bunch of like pro riders, like make friends with a lot of riders, like Ruben Rodriguez. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So when he went to Barcelona to film the second coalition, he did a switch decade, I believe. I believe it's like one of that, like a switch decade down a big 10 set, and he like busted open his knee. Like it was pretty bad, and he's still like dealing with the repercussions of that injury.
Wow.
So I was always like, oh dude, if something happens like that to me, like I'm going to deal with it right away. Like I'm not going to like be here still like messing with my knee, and here I am about like a year and a half later. And I'd say like if anyone's listening out there, like the most important thing to take away from this podcast is to stretch. Like that was my biggest downfall. After hurting my knee, I went to physical therapy, and one of the things that I learned was I wasn't stretching enough. So all of that impact that I was taking from just jumps, like my favorite trick to do is like down sets, like stair sets.
Yeah.
Like that's just like, I think that's the coolest thing. All of that impact would go straight to my knee. And if I would have stretched, it would have distributed it across like my whole leg. And I probably wouldn't be in a situation where I'm injured with a broken knee, but here I am.
Wow.
And
okay.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like, one of the things that I've had to do is build up strength in my glutes and my hamstrings, because I didn't have much strength like in those parts of my body compared to what I was doing to my knee.
Yeah.
So I had to stretch like every day, at least like half an hour, and it's been a long process to say the least.
When do you say you should stretch? Like, is it like before you ride, in the morning, both?
I'm sorry, there's someone who's on the loudspeaker right now.
No, you're good. I can't really hear it. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm in the break room right now.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Could you ask that question one more time?
Yeah. When would you recommend stretching? Like in the morning, before you ride, both? Like when does your physical therapist tell you to stretch?
Yeah. One of the main things is definitely stretch before you go ride. Like, honestly, one of the things that I've learned after, having an injury, like kind of thinking back on all of my riding, is there were days when I'd have like this like spring in my step. And I don't know if you can relate to that. Like there were days when you felt like you could hop higher and like you just felt like
lighter almost.
You were just dialed in. Yeah, exactly. And I learned that was because of my stretching. Like the days that I stretched were the days that my legs just felt ready to go. And I think that was like the most crucial part to maybe why I'm not like at the point of my scootering, like where I am or like where I could be.
Yeah.
And I would say to those out there that, want to get better, recovery is like the most important part. Yep. Like you kind of have to think about it like Cody Flom. Cody Flom treats scootering like it's a professional sport.
Yeah.
He's out there like working out. He's focusing on recovery. It's not just like at the skate park scootering.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's like, it's pretty cool to see that.
It is.
Like see a kid that like actually treats this like other like professional athletes do.
Yeah. He's a real inspiration in a lot of ways, but especially in that way, in the way that he shows that journey too. He shows himself working out. He shows himself stretching. He wants to like show other people like how serious they should be taking it and how to mostly just not injure yourself. So that's very true.
It's pretty cool because that dude like seriously takes this like so serious.
Yeah.
And I can see it because I have to watch his clips every single day.
Yeah.
So you see the progression. Like I see his stories and it's just his dedication. I don't know how he finds it.
Yeah.
But it's there for him. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Growing up in the LA scene, you probably have met a lot of different riders. Who have you really clicked with and like who are your favorites?
I'd say like just my main circle around me. Like that's the boys,
Yeah, of
like
course.
I have Julian Camarena, you may know him. My friend Bethel, Andrew Zamora, Austin's pretty cool.
Yeah.
My friend Isaiah, we're all just we all kind of came up together, which is pretty cool.
Right.
Especially seeing Andrew Zamora, like that dude.
He's so nice too. I love it.
He is the coolest person, dude. He's the best guy to ever talk with.
Yeah.
And he would ride my local skate park. So me being like the little like pleb that I was at the time, like seeing him, like shred this park, it's like, dang, like if he can ride this park, anyone can.
Yeah.
And that was like, I'd say like that was one of the biggest inspirations, is having like a set of friends that were better than me at some points and a set of friends that were worse than me.
Yeah.
It kind of pushed you to get better. And I don't know how your scene is out there in
Yep.
South Dakota.
Well,
Did you have like a solid group of friends to ride with?
I've always had like my group. Like it's changed over the years, of course, but I've always had like 3, 4, 5 riders that I usually ride with, that are just in Rapid where I'm at. So, that's been pretty good. It actually grew quite a bit a couple years ago. There was a bunch of people in like the whole Black Hills area where I live that like started scootering, all kind of at the same time. So we all did that for a while. A lot of them moved away and whatnot, but, for a while there was actually a pretty big scene down here. Nothing like California, but for South Dakota for sure. So
did you add any like rollerbladers or skaters or bikers into your like riding group?
Oh yeah, of course. Because anybody that rides at the skate park, period, is a homie. So I have plenty of bike friends BMX friends that I ride with all the time, and then the skateboarders are all super sick. It used to be really toxic, like back in the day, obviously, but now everyone's chill. So it's super cool. I grew up with a lot of these fools. So
yeah, it's kind of how it is. Like you kind of have to mark your territory. You have to go to the skate park enough to like kind of not prove yourself, but just, kind of assert dominance a little bit. And
build a relationship with everybody. They're like, for a while, they're like, why are you here? And then they're like, accept the fact that you're there. So.
Oh yeah. No, I can totally get that, dude. At my local skate park, I would go to the skate park every single day. And for a few years, it was actually like a hot spot. I don't know why, but there would be at least like 50 people in the skate park like every single day. And it wasn't like the biggest park. So like 50 people is like, pretty cramped.
Yeah.
And it'd be a good mix of like actual pro skateboarders and like, the typical, guys that are learning.
Yeah.
But think that scootering's gay or, just talk
those are the worst, isn't it?
Those are the worst.
Always the guys that like aren't confident with their skating that give you crap.
No, and those are the guys that just sit back and watch too.
Yeah.
It's the worst. But also like another, I guess like bad thing is when like you have a really good skater just talk some shit to you. Like, that one kind of stings in the heart. It's like, dang it.
Yeah, exactly. That one hurts a little bit. You don't see it quite as much as the other situation, but it hurts a lot more when it's coming from somebody who's good.
Dude, no, but if you ever come down here and you go to Venice skate park, I'm sure you've seen like clips of it. That is the most toxic skate park probably in like the whole country, to be honest.
It is.
It's all just a bunch of old heads, just guys that think they're slick. Mm-hmm. And as soon as they see a scooter roll up or like a biker or a rollerblader, mainly scooter riders though, I don't know why their confidence just spikes when they see a scooter rider just roll up to the skate park.
Yeah.
The beef starts real quick, and these old guys are not afraid to let you know that you're not welcome there.
Oh yeah. Luckily, I went there once because I was OSI at Woodward West in 19. So I was down there a little bit. I went to Venice, and it wasn't bad when I was there. I don't know if it was probably in like the morning, so nobody was really there. But no, that skate park it's way overhyped in my opinion. Like it's cool,
it is,
but it's not that good of a skate park.
I'd say like if you're going there to get looked at, it's definitely cool because maybe by like midday, like at least like 1:00, you'll have all these people wrap up around the skate park just watching, like filming you. Yeah, so that feels kind of cool because it feels like you're in like a stadium. You have the whole crowd like watching you, like kind of cheering you on. Like that's kind of cool. But then you have those skaters, and it's just not fun. Like the amount of times I've been like tried to get kicked out or like just been shit talked. It's crazy. Yeah, so, like the morning is like the best time to go.
Yeah, it totally is. What is your local skate park?
I kind of have a few. Like I'd say within like a 10-minute drive, I could probably hit 4 or 5 skate parks. Okay. But it's this skate park called Alondra. Okay. And if you ever come down, like we gotta ride it for sure. I think you like it. I don't know if you like what type of obstacles do you like to ride?
Everything. I try to be as well rounded as possible. Like if you throw a 15 stair handrail or a 10-foot quarter, I'll ride everything. So For sure.
I respect that.
I've been working
Yeah,
on rails a ton this last couple of years. Just trying to get way better at those. But yeah, I'm going to be down there second half of the summer. Not in LA, but at West. I took a counseling job there.
Okay.
So I'll probably be down. I have to stop at the vault at least once. So I'm sure I'll stop down there. I'll let you know for sure. But
yeah, if you stop down, I'll take you out and we'll ride like a bunch of skate parks down here.
Okay, sweet.
Because pretty much like every video, if you've ever seen like a vault video, every video is like, or every skate park is like 15 minutes away from here, at least.
Yeah.
And my local was all fly out. So growing up, that's like all I rode pretty much.
Yep,
like I rode like at least 3 solid years of just straight fly out.
Yep.
And that was like so much fun. Like I loved it so much. And I think for kids that want to get better, you kind of have to go the park route first and then maybe go to that street style. Just so you can get your basic tricks down.
True. Yeah.
Like I feel when you start from street to park, it doesn't really translate the way like you kind of want it to.
Yeah. Because learning how to ride transition helps a lot with everything.
Exactly.
So I think
like I still remember. I don't know. Go on.
Yeah. No. Everybody goes through that fly out phase for like a while, and I think that's almost like the funnest part because you're progressing so fast and you're learning all these new tricks. And then translating it over to street is just painful because learning rails is such a disheartening situation. Like, I don't know if it was for you, but like you learn all these fly out tricks and you feel like you're pretty good. And then you try to like board slide a rail and eat shit. And then you're like, okay, that was dumb. And then you don't want to ride rails. So that's always the challenge I see with a lot of people around South Dakota and around just everywhere.
See, because like a fall going fly out and a fall on a rail are just two different things. Like, if you fall and fly out, you kind of know what you're getting into. Like, it may be like a rough slam, but you can always walk away from it. But a rail is like the most just sketchy thing because you can fall on a rail, like hit your ribs, like literally flip over it. And you can sack on it, all these sort of things. And I feel like hitting a rail is more of a mental battle. Because once you have that bad fall, it just kind of psychs you out. And you're like, fuck that. Do not want to go through that again.
Oh, for sure.
The amount of times I've like shinned myself on a flat bar or anything like that. It's kind of like turned me off to rails a little bit.
Yeah.
And it sucks because that's like a lot of like what my friends ride at least.
Yeah.
So, like,
a lot of
dude, that's a letter.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of the things that you're like, have at your skate parks. I feel like
exactly. Like it's a lot of boxes and rails here. A lot of I'd say that's mostly it. Not too much quarter pipes and stuff like that. It really forces you to learn it. But for me personally, I've stayed away from rails. I'm good on that. I don't need a fall.
Yeah, you're just trying to avoid the injuries at this point. I feel like.
No, exactly. Like I don't know how you feel about this. Like how often you feel like going hard, like when you go ride or something. But for me, like I don't have the passion to just put my body on the line anymore. Like an injury to me is just not as worth it as it would have been like 2 years ago.
Yep.
But
I don't know if I've ever I never like really feel like I've gotten to the level of like, I have days where I'm like, yeah, like that was a good day, but I don't really have days where I'm like, I really put myself on the line today. Like it's weird. I think I have the self-conservation of my mother, which is sometimes a problem, but no, it's fun. But what was I going to ask? As far as the vault is concerned, how has that did you have a passion for cinematography and photography before having this job at the vault? And like, how'd you get into that?
Yeah. So first off, I worked. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, sorry, someone's calling me.
No, you're good.
Gotta decline that. So I'd say like every scooter rider at one point has like a passion for film or cinematography. Like if you have an Instagram account and you post videos to it, I'd say you have a passion for it.
Yes.
Like every kid has that. I wouldn't even say kid, like every scooter rider, action sports rider, they all love to film clips.
Yes.
Like, regardless of who you are, where you live, what you ride, that's just like so much fun to do. Like, you want to see yourself progressing, you want to see your friends progressing, you want to make a cool movie to like impress other people, you want to spread your social media. So I'd say anyone that rides and has an Instagram account or like a YouTube account has a passion for it. And I guess that's like kind of where it started for me, is doing like Insta edits, like making like actual YouTube edits with my friends. That was kind of like how that started. And in, I think, my senior year of high school, I'm ending a third year in college right now.
Okay.
It's been a while. But my senior year of high school, that's when I first got a job at the Vault. And it was kind of funny, like how it started. Like, my friend just asked me if I wanted the job. And I was like, yeah, I'm down. And he's like, okay, come to the Vault. So I come here, I have like my resume like printed out. It's all like laminated. And I'm like, okay, like just getting myself ready in the car. Like, okay, it's going to be a big interview. Like, you know, kind of got to score it. I want to work here. I walk up and the owner, Nick, she's just like, so you want a job? And I was like, yeah. She's like, okay, well, you'll start next week. What? Like, it just works like that? Like, my first ever job, and I just get it like that. And I was like, okay, that's sick. And I worked here for about like a year and a half, quit to focus on school.
Yep.
And then I started getting into actual like photography, and I would like shoot photos of my friends. I'd shoot my friends' like shoe company, just like minor stuff, like nothing big. Yeah. And then it was actually the owner again. She asked me a few months ago if I wanted to hop back on it and just do all the social media. So I was like, hell yeah, come back. And then, now I just work with primarily Austin. I wouldn't say, I don't want to give Austin this credit as him being like my manager or like just like the person that like leads me, but he's pretty much like the guy that I go to for everything.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So it's pretty cool that I get to like work with him.
Yeah.
And we actually collab on like a bunch of cool stuff and projects here. And I'd say for the summer now that we have a lot of time, like we're going to make a lot of cool videos. So I'm stoked on that.
Yeah, no, me as well as a lot of people grew up on Vault videos. So you guys do a great job. So especially lately, I have to plug a scooter film that just came out actually.
Go
some of my buddies down in Colorado, they came out with the Organic 2 video. Jacob Beach did all the editing and film, most of the filming, but it's kind of his project. And that is one of the better scooter films and more raw scooter films I've seen in a long time. So I just want to plug him so that go check that out, guys. Organic 2 video. Organic 2.
Organic 2.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's like a half length.
Okay.
But it's a bunch of Colorado riders, and I haven't really seen them doing that many like projects, and this one was just really, really good. For like high schoolers, making that long of a film was just really, really cool. I definitely just want to give him some credit for that because it was awesome. But
that's sick. It takes so much effort and so much time to do that too.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I was just like, wow. Good job.
Yeah, and not many people do it anymore, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, I miss the days when everyone would, instead of doing a bunch of Insta clips, you just get like day edits and or like week edits, or just like people are posting on YouTube more. I miss like those edit contents, not just like the vlogs do better now, I understand, as far as the YouTube algorithm's concerned, but I miss those just raw kind of edits. So
no, and like I kind of get it too, you know. I'd say back then when scootering was just coming up, like YouTube clout was kind of the thing. Like, every scooter rider was on YouTube. Like, you know, you saw the Jesse Bays versus Jed Adams game of Scoot. Like, we watched all those, like, you know, unboxings, like that, you know, calling the shots videos, like stuff like that. And I'd say that was like cooler than whatever Instagram was or what it was going to be. But now, you know, it's so easy to just kind of get famous and move on.
Gratification. Like,
yeah. And it kind of sucks that it's that way. Like, I get it, you know, but it does suck. It kind of takes away from what scootering was.
Yeah. So how many years have you worked at the Vault?
I'd say about 2.5 to 3.
Okay.
Now,
because you took like that break for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I'd say maybe like around the 2 to 2.5 mark.
Yeah. Where do you go to school?
I go to college at West Los Angeles, and it's a 2-year community college.
Okay.
So yeah, I just finished that up. I finished in 2 days, and
Oh,
then I'll be
nice.
transferring out to Santa Cruz, which is pretty cool.
Okay. What are you majoring in? Or what are you getting your certificate in?
Yeah, so I'm getting 2 degrees for this school. So it is business administration, and then I think social science.
Cool.
And then once I transfer out, it'll be marketing.
So you're going from a 2-year to a 4-year?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't.
Yeah.
How does schooling work in California? Because I know you guys like it's really expensive for out of state. Is it really bad in state or?
I mean, I guess it kind of depends. Like at least for my community college, it's very cheap. I'd say each semester it's maybe like between 500 to 800.
Okay.
Which honestly isn't too bad for
No, it's not
what
bad.
college is.
Yeah.
But once you transfer out, there's there's 3 types of schools in California. So you have private schools, so that's like Stanford, USC, LMU, schools like that, like top tier schools.
Yeah.
And that can get expensive. That's like in the 50 to 60,000 range.
Yes.
Even like in state. And then you have the UC system, which is like the University of California, and that's like the second level of like schooling. And that's like UCLA, like Berkeley, Santa Barbara, like schools like that.
Okay.
And that's around like 14,000 in tuition. And then the next school is like the California State, and that's like 7,000.
Okay. Yeah. So that's more regular.
Yeah.
That's more what we're paying. Because I wanted to go to school in California, but it's just so expensive out of state. They don't want new people coming in. So, or at least that's how it feels. But yeah. So you're doing marketing. What are you hoping to do when you get out?
Well, this year I'm actually taking a gap year from school. I'm over school for like 1 year. I just need a break.
Yeah.
And I want to get another job like in marketing. That way I can just like, get like an actual career towards what I want to do, or get an actual job towards like my career. And that's kind of why I'm working here again. Like I didn't want to work here like after like, kind of doing like what I was doing, even though it was like really cool. Like I get to meet kids and like talk with them, like build up scooters. Like that was sick. But I kind of moved on from it. And I'm like, I want to do something towards like what I actually want to do.
Yeah.
And that's why I have this job now, because I can kind of do things and like, build up my resume with some cool things that I'm doing now that can lead to other jobs.
Almost like a portfolio with work and like projects that you've completed for sure. Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. What are your favorite videos to film?
Like the custom builds are cool, but I like when we go out and we actually do a video. Like I think maybe like a week ago or like 2 weeks ago, we went and we filmed this big shoe game of vault. Yeah. So you had Austin and Walter, and they got like a size 16 and a size 13 shoe, and then just played Scoot on it. And then before that, we did a vault session. So it's like maybe like 3 to 4 hours worth of filming, and it's just sick. Like that type of stuff is cool, where it doesn't feel like work, but you're actually working.
Yeah.
And that's the sickest thing about working here is you do so many like interesting things that you wouldn't do at any other job.
Yeah.
And you get to do it.
Yeah. So there's just like some interesting, refreshing things when you come to work.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's super sick. What kind of, I guess, the custom builds, this is what I was thinking. I got lost.
Yeah.
But, the custom builds, you guys do those quite often. They must do really well as far as like selling scooters and building like scootering content too. Why have you done those for so many years, and have you kind of stuck with the same platform doing them? Yeah.
So over the last like 2 to 3 years, we've had 3 filmers that actually film like our YouTube videos. So it started with a guy named, we have 2 Jameses. So it started with a guy named James Holt, and he honestly knew YouTube. Like he got it. He understood it. And he was a big part of the reason why our YouTube channel grew so much. And then we had a guy named James Webb. He films most of the writing content and then some of the custom builds. And then now we have a new guy who's a skater actually, and he films all the custom builds.
Okay.
But I think the reason why we've stuck with the custom builds is it's become our bread and butter. That's kind of what we started our YouTube on and what helped us grow. And as of right now, me, Austin, and Ruben Rodriguez, he works here. We're working together to like spread out the YouTube, so it's not just like the custom builds. So we can actually like have like some diversity in the videos. But it honestly, it just does well, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a weekly thing. It takes about maybe 2 to 3 hours to film. You know, once you get here, it takes like half an hour to an hour to pick out your parts. You got to make sure it's in stock. Then you go down, film the video, film the intro. I'll just explain how it goes. So you get here, choose your parts, make sure it's all in stock. You got to write it down. So we keep a list and a track of like what we're actually taking off stock. You go in the studio, then you film the intro. You're like, hey guys, what's going on? You know, custom build here. We're going to go pick up the parts now. So then you actually go into the warehouse and you pick out the parts. So before you kind of chose them out, but now you actually get them. You go back, and then our filmer does like some B-roll of it. So you kind of wait for like half an hour while he does that. Then you start building it up, and then drop test, and that's pretty much it. And then once the video goes live on a Friday, you can buy the scooter. So it's like a cool way to like spread our YouTube and also like sell a scooter at the same time. And they actually sell it pretty quickly. I don't know how or like why, but kids love them.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, is like they definitely sell scooters, and you feel like you can own part of the vault history. It's almost like an NFT, like that kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of like owning a part of the whole journey. So how long do you see yourself working at the vault?
I want to work here through my gap here, so at least another like year, maybe year and a half.
Yeah.
Just because honestly, it's one of the most like kind of relaxed jobs that I have, because I don't have to go into work to actually work. I can work from home. I just have to like keep track of all my hours. It's just like if I'm driving home or I'm having someone drive me, I can just start working. Just go on Instagram, like clock in my hours, and it's like that simple.
Yeah.
But it's also just being able to have just a platform that's mine, where I can like create something and like get, like a reaction out of it, so I can learn how people, like basically how people fuck with it or not.
Yeah,
like if I put out like a photo and people are just not fucking with it, maybe it gets like 900 likes, like something's bad.
Yeah.
Like, okay, maybe I gotta change it up a little bit, and it just kind of keeps me on my toes, which is pretty cool. And I guess like maybe the coolest thing of all is I get to go to Woodward. Like that's like the sickest thing.
Yeah, true.
Like we just solidified a partnership with Woodward, so now we might be going out to East and Tahoe just for regular trips throughout the year. And since I'm like the photographer position and I do like all the social media, I kind of solidified my spot in like going to those trips. So it's sick.
Yeah.
Like why not? That's
awesome. Yeah, you get to travel to all the different Woodwards.
Exactly.
So you're going to be up at West a lot?
I wouldn't say a lot. Maybe at least like 2 or 3 times a year, hopefully.
Yeah.
It just depends how COVID goes and how our boss feels. Like we haven't posted much about this, but we just went about 2 months ago. We filmed like 3 videos there. We did a game of vault. No. It was a game of calling the shots, but he didn't land the trick. He got tased. And then, that was not fun. And then we did an Indo game of Scoot on like the trampolines there.
Yeah.
And I think we did like one more video, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But
cool.
That was sick.
Yeah. So how have COVID regulations been there, and like what is it looking like for working and like at the vault and just like in your area?
One of the coolest things, I guess, for a boss, not necessarily for me because I'm not reaping the benefits of it, but I don't know how, but COVID has done amazingly for the vault. Like, I'm pretty sure you can remember when scootering kind of had that big dip where companies were pretty much just closing up and no one was buying scootering. I don't know. People say it's because of Fortnite. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't.
Oh, right.
But like, I don't know how, but everyone just started buying scootering parts again, and it's kind of sick. Like, maybe like all the stimmies were going to some custom builds, or just stuff like that. Like, it was just kind of cool, and that kind of saved the business a little bit. And around here, it's kind of weird. Like, there's parts of like different towns where people really don't care about COVID. Like, you can definitely see, like, you've seen Huntington Beach, probably, where like kids, like, did you see Adrian's Kickback on TikTok?
I did not know. I have.
Dude, so this guy named Adrian, he wanted to have a birthday party at Huntington Beach. So Huntington Beach is kind of like a just mainly white area, to say the least.
Yeah.
And this dude Adrian posted it on TikTok, said everyone go to like this one like lifeguard tower and we're gonna party it up. And almost like 3,000 to 4,000 people went, like, just on the beach. And this thing was getting hyped up so big that like all the news were there, like police, like SWAT teams were there trying to like control the party before it got started. And like, it's kind of weird because there's towns like that just really don't give a fuck about COVID. Like,
what?
Don't care about masks. Like, it's kind of like a mini Florida, if that makes sense. And then you have towns that are like really, really strict. And some of the skate parks have gone weird where you have to pay to go in. Like, even if it's like $1 or something, like, you have to sign in, like, pay, and now you have to wear like a helmet and a mask. When before, like, it was pretty chill. So that's kind of the downside of it. But it's all starting to open up again a little bit, like, slowly.
Yeah, that's cool. They seem to be dropping your regulations a little bit, as far as I've heard from all the guys over at Woodward. But I know that since everyone's just running from California, it feels like. I know here in the hills, we have like house sales are up a ton and people are paying over market value for houses. Like, they will on the spot pay over market value for property and houses here to try to just get away from wherever city center they're at, which is crazy. So the realtors around here are making so much bank. But in South Dakota, we're kind of like Florida, but we're like worse. We never shut down, period. Our governor never shut anything down. There was a lot of places where they never required masks and you never had to wear masks. And now most people don't, like, it's normal here. Like, nobody wears masks, period. Like, I don't even wear it. Like, my work just stopped requiring masks. So I don't have to wear a mask at work either. And I work like sales.
Oh, that's pretty solid.
Which is crazy. Yeah, it's weird how like that changes so much. But
do you live in a big town? Like a
70,000
spread out? Is that
That's big for South Dakota. It's the second biggest town in South Dakota. But I mean, it's not big for you guys, but it's definitely big here because we have 400,000 people in our whole state or something like that.
Oh yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
I guess 70,000 is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, is your town like pretty close together at all? Would you say, or is it like spread out? Like, do you have a lot of land?
Spread out. It's pretty spread out. And most people that live here, like, the population is bigger. Most people that live here live out of city limits on like ranches and farms and just out in the country with a bunch of acreage. So it's probably a little bit bigger as far as people that are here, but within city limits, it's like 69 something thousand. I don't know. It's a lot for here, but yeah.
I get that.
But since we're so Republican here, they just never shut anything down. But you know what did happen? Gun sales went up like a ton. You can't keep ammo in stock anywhere. So like anything that happens in the world just is good for gun sales. So it's rough.
Do you own guns?
I do not. Yeah, no.
I've always wanted to shoot a gun. Like, that just sounds like so much fun.
I haven't. It's weird. Living out here, like, I haven't really either. So
yeah, it's kind of like hunting.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds like fun, but not for me. I don't know how you feel about that.
It sounds like a lot of work for nothing. Like it's like the worst hike you'd ever go on. Like,
Just fishing.
yeah,
There's so much
exactly.
waiting.
Well, the thing about fishing is you can hold a beer while you're fishing. When you're
That's
hunting,
true.
you got to like track through the snow or the tall grass or
Gonna get all
whatever. It's
dirty.
brutal. Yeah, exactly. Where do you think?
So you have, hold on.
Go ahead.
You have snow up there, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. For most of the year.
Dude, so how is that like riding wise?
Okay,
How do you get through that?
we have not had an indoor skate park until this year. So most of the time what we did, luckily when it does snow pretty bad, it dries up from the concrete pretty quickly as long as you get it shoveled. So a lot of our time is spent going to the skate park in the morning and shoveling the snow off the skate park so that it dries. It's still like cold, like it's still like 10 degrees outside, but like as long as you warm up, you're fine. Like it takes like way longer to warm up. Like normally, like a warm up could take like an hour and a half before you feel like rideable. But yeah, I don't know. It's harder for sure, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like I can't ride all year, but I can definitely like you find ways to ride anyway. You ride in garages or like on little ramps. There's a lot of flat. Like we ride a lot of flat because that's just what we have access to.
That's kind of flat is so much fun. I don't know how you feel about it, but I love
definitely.
flat.
Yeah.
Like I'd say that's like a good stepping stone to getting good.
Well, we don't even have big like quarter pipes or flyouts here. So it's not that hard to take like your flyout tricks to flat. So a lot of time is just spent like working your tricks better, which is really nice for when you end up like going somewhere else and riding a big skate park because you can just do all your tricks so fast.
Yeah.
That it just like helps for when you have like, you can throw big combos when you end up on a big obstacle. So that's cool. But
how do you feel about having like kind of parks like that where they're small, but then you can see like people like in the UK or like Australia have these like nice, like big parks, like, you know, like big ramps.
It's definitely disheartening because you're like,
yeah.
I could probably be so much better if I had access to parks like that. But at the same time, like there's something fun and nostalgic about just not having it. Because if you have a big park like that, like there's so many people around you that would be so good all the time that it'd be probably just as hard to ride there because you're just like, I could never be that good. And you're just like always being shown up.
And it feels a little more homey too.
Yep.
Just like having that small park. One of my favorite things about having like, you know, like my home park is when like new scooter riders go there. I don't know if you've ever like felt this way, but like when a new scooter rider like pulls up, like you've never seen this guy before, it's like game on.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay. Like it's time to start riding hard.
Exactly. You gotta like do like,
you know,
as they're pulling up, you gotta do like a couple tricks to like show them like who's boss, you know?
Yeah, you gotta start down real quick.
Yeah. And then you like sit there and don't talk to each other for like 10 minutes. And then you're like, yo, that was sick. And then you start talking to him and then you're homies. Like that's always super funny.
You realize he's actually sick.
Yeah.
He's so cool.
Well, there's that. And then there's also like everybody that scooters in our area. Like you got to figure out who they are because there's not that many of them.
Yeah.
So like I know most people from like Wyoming and Nebraska and North Dakota. Well, no, I don't know anybody that scooters in North Dakota. So oops. But yeah, all of South Dakota, I know pretty much everybody that rides a scooter, which it's a pretty small group, but there's a few kids in Pierre that ride here, which is pretty cool. They come down and ride with me occasionally, but
that's pretty cool.
Just kind of getting into it. Yeah, no. Where do you want to live in the future?
Dude, I don't know. I've thought about this a good amount. Like LA is definitely sick. Like you have everything here. You have the beach. You're like an hour away from the forest, hour away from the desert. You pretty much have everything you need here, but it's just so expensive. And the people here are just weird.
Yeah.
Like everyone here kind of has this ulterior motive where they want to like get somewhere. You can always tell like how someone is by the way they talk, the way they act, and you know, kind of like just their presence. And you can just see that someone like thinks they're better than you, like so quick. Like it's so easy to see that. And everyone is like that. Like everyone kind of wants to get like famous or, you know, thinks they're better than you. It's really whack. And then you go to somewhere like the country and then everyone there's just so nice. They always want to talk to you. just happy to see you, happy to be alive. And you definitely don't get that around here. But I'd say if it's not LA, maybe San Diego. It seems a little more calm. Or maybe just go somewhere like random, like Australia, like France. I probably wouldn't, but like
that'd be so sick
for a little bit.
Yeah. I was talking to Jared Adelson the other day, and he is all over the place all the time. He like lived in Spain for a couple years, and he just wants to like jump around every once in a while. His girlfriend's a nurse, like a traveling nurse, or going to be. So he's going to be like just all over the place, which I think is awesome. Like that's the way to like learn the country and figure out where you want to end up settling down.
See, and that's cool too, because you kind of learn like what you want to do, like where you want to be, like who you want around you, like stuff like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. I was thinking about possibly moving to LA for a little bit. How do you feel about like the big city feel? And like, do you want to get away from it? Do you like it?
You know, it's weird. It's kind of like it's kind of both. You know, you want to get away from it, but then you also love to embrace it.
Yeah.
And hold on. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Got distracted. What was I going to say? Yeah, like living here, it's cool because you have like everything you need. Like if you want to go make some friends, if you want to go, you know, like somewhere cool. Because the thing about LA is it's very just diverse. You have a lot of like cool things that you can do. Like there's a lot of like pop-up shops, like pop-up museums, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you can like do some pretty cool things. But then at the same time, you want to go where I want to go somewhere where it's just a little more mellow, a little more like just nature-y, if that makes sense. A little more wilderness. And I'd be down for that. But if you were to move down to LA, I think you'd like it. Like, I don't know if you're a big city guy or not.
I either want to like it or no, I hate it. But I want to live there for a couple of years. Kind of just figure it out.
I think you'll find both. I think you'll learn to hate it a lot and you'll learn to like it. Like traffic, everyone says LA traffic is bad. And I'd say probably for you, going from like maybe like a town that doesn't have like much traffic at all to like how it is here, where you're just like literally sitting in your car just waiting for like a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it kind of sucks.
Yeah, it depends where you're at in LA. I've done quite a bit of driving there and quite a bit of driving in Denver. Because I used to I went to University of Wyoming and was basically in Denver every weekend. So nice. I did that for a while, but I don't mind the traffic. The traffic doesn't bother me. It's more just like the attitude of people who live there, which is kind of like understandable because there's so many people that you can't really give like the time of day to everybody.
Yeah.
But it's just like interesting, like how people act. It's almost like more acceptable to be like mean, which is weird.
Yeah. I think everyone just has they're just in their own lane, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like the attitude they've been like brought up on, you know? Like I think if, you know, many people were just nicer, I think overall like people would just act nicer like all around, like, you know, throughout daily occurrences. But I think just the way that people have been trained to think and trained to act, like kind of sucks because everyone around here is so mean. They're so like rude. And like I even catch myself doing it like sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Like if someone cuts me off like when I'm driving, I get mad. I get literally 2 days ago. This pisses me off. But 2 days ago, I'm just driving, like casually driving. I'm turning over into the left lane. It's a 3-lane road.
Yeah.
I'm turning over into the left lane. This guy in a Ford Raptor goes from the left lane, goes right, and cuts all the way across in like a matter of like 4 seconds. And like, you know, it's just kind of normal around here, but this happened to me. And this guy goes right behind me, and we literally almost hit because this guy is just a dumbass.
Yeah.
And so now at this point, I'm driving behind him. We pull up to a stop sign. I have my girlfriend in the car. This guy just gets out of the car and he's just standing there, just looking at me like this. At like a red light, he starts taking his sweater off, like making direct eye contact with me. And then he takes his shirt off and he's trying to like just flex. Like you can see his abs are just like tight as hell. This guy's trying to look tough. And I'm just like, what is going on? And in my head, like I'm on my way to hockey, like I'm tired. It's been a long drive. And I have my girlfriend in the car too. So I don't want to like, put her in harm.
Yeah.
I'm just like, fuck, like now I have to fight. Like I don't want to be here right now. But
Yeah.
that's kind of just how it is. Like everyone's just a little selfish.
Yeah. Well, you kind of have to be.
Yeah.
Almost like a self-preservation thing.
Exactly.
What like suburbs are the best in LA, would you say?
It kind of depends. Like if you want safety, definitely the beaches for sure.
Yeah.
Except for Venice. Venice is a little sketchy, but like the more south you go, it's a little better. The more inland you go, that's where it gets like a little dangerous. Like people
really?
say like Compton's bad. Like Compton's not that bad. Like there are worse cities. But there's a lot of like nice areas like El Segundo. That's where we film a lot of videos. I live in Hawthorne.
Yeah.
That's funny because my last name is Hawthorne.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty good city. But mainly like the safest parts are like the beach cities, and that's where everyone wants to be. But it's just so expensive.
Yeah. It
but
seems
also,
really
like,
expensive.
Like the bad side about going to the beach cities is that's where you get like all the assholes, like all the people that just think they're way better than you. Like you get like the really stuck up girls that, this is bad. Like if you ever seen like a high school movie where you have like the popular girls where they think they're better than every single guy, like that's how it is. Like everyone there is like that.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
They're all Instagram models with like
exactly
20K and think that they're the shit.
With like rich daddies. It's horrible.
Going on their yacht.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy. Gas prices blow my mind there. It's ridiculous. What kind of car do you drive?
I drive a Mitsubishi Outlander, so it's a SUV. And dude, oh my god, I don't even want to drive anymore.
Yeah,
because right now it's averaging, I think, 4.3.
Really?
So $4.30. Yeah, it's horrible, dude. Like before, like pre-Corona, it was maybe like 3.6, and then during Corona, it was like $3, like maybe 2.9 if you were lucky. Yeah. And I was loving it. I was so down to just fill some gas. But now, like, it's so horrible.
In Laramie, where I just moved out of when COVID started, it got down to under $1.
What?
Yeah, under $1 a gallon.
Insane.
Like 97 cents.
Dude,
which is crazy. Yeah, right. Which is insane. So like obviously you guys are known for like the worst gas prices in the country. You and like New York. So
yeah, it's horrible, dude.
But out in the country, it's like not that bad.
No, and it's weird too because you'll have at one corner of the street gas is like 4.5, and then like the other corner it's like 4.2, maybe like almost $4. But then like the higher gas price like gas station is where all the people are at. Like what? Like why are you going there? It doesn't make sense. And I just think it's this like thing about people and time here. Like everyone seems like they're in a rush.
Oh yeah, I've noticed that.
And I feel like that's also how like people are like mean.
Yeah, everyone's just in a rush all the time, so they just like don't have patience. Yeah,
but like that, I've never understood that. Like you can save like $5 to $10 by going across the street.
Yeah,
it's the same gas.
Yeah, that's so true.
Oh, maybe I'm just tripping.
Who owns the vault, and did they get into owning it? And like, how are they connected to scooters and just like that whole like? Do you know that story?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is a dude named Nick. He transitioned from being a woman, so it was originally Nicole.
Okay.
And I believe his dad was an immigrant into this country, so he didn't really start off with a lot. And his original idea was just to sell bikes. So it started as Chubby's Bicycles, I believe that's what it's called. And it started in Culver City at this like small little shop. If you guys if you've ever been to the vault, maybe like between 2012 to like 2015, that was when that like little store, like maybe like, I don't know how to describe it, but it was just tiny, like maybe like the size of like your bedroom.
Yeah.
It was just so small. And he started off selling bikes, and then all of a sudden, like all these kids started coming in, like asking for headsets, and he didn't really understood like why like all these kids were coming in for like bike parts for their scooters.
Yeah.
But you know, they'd come in like ask for grips, ask for headsets, like tools and stuff like that. And then sorry.
You're good.
And then he noticed that all these kids were coming in. So he was like, you know what? I'm going to start transitioning into the scooter realm. Started selling some more scooter stuff and saw that there's an actual market for that. And then originally, I don't know if he either sold the company or he just like turned it into the vault. But the vault was born in 2012. And that's pretty much how it started. It started at this like small little shop. Most of the workers there were scooter riders. So it started with Arthur Placencia, Andre, I forgot his last name, just Andre, and then a guy named Ben. And these guys were all scooter riders. Like, you know, they'd get parts from the vault and they'd work there. And that's pretty much how it's been ever since. Just workers that scooter.
Yeah.
So
Do you guys must get pretty good discounts on parts then?
Oh yeah. Employees here get that cost.
Okay. Nice.
So that's the cool thing. So pretty much like almost half off.
Yeah. Yep. I had a scooter shop in South Dakota for about 2 years, and that was a really cool experience, just working with all the distributors and stuff and all that kind of stuff. But I've always looked up to the vault as like, just, you know, you guys are the scooter shop, really, as far as that's concerned, especially in your area. I mean, you can go down to San Diego and there's like the farm and stuff, but
yeah.
As far as like California is like the mecca, and you guys have always been making videos, so that's really cool. Yeah, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
10 years. That's a good question. I'd be 31. Honestly, I don't know. I'd say I want to own at least like 2 properties.
Okay, so you're into real estate.
Yeah, that's one of the lanes I want to go into. So marketing and then real estate on the side, just to make some extra cash, because living here in LA is not cheap.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's definitely like one of the goals I have. I want to own at least 2 properties and rent them out, and then have my own like little either apartment or like little house.
Yep.
But yeah, I want to have like a place where I can like rent out, and then like live in one. So it's like a duplex. As far as goals go, I think I want to get a job in sports, like sports business. Like that'd be sick.
Yeah.
Down the street, I don't know if you're a big hockey fan or if you know hockey at all.
A little bit.
But down the street from where I live is where the Los Angeles Kings practice. So they have their like whole facility right there. And then 2 minutes away from that is the Lakers facility. And then I think, 10 minutes away is the Clippers. And then you have like Fox Sports West, like all these like, you know, like sports media places. And I want to try and get a job there. Like that'd just be sick. Because sports is pretty much like, you know, what I love. Like I love like fitness. I love anything athletic. Let's just, you know, that's my thing.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, you should definitely get a media job with the hockey team. That would be the way to go. That'd be awesome. That'd be super cool.
Yeah.
Do all like their promo material?
Yeah, exactly. Like that'd be sick.
Yeah.
What about you though? You said you're working in sales right now?
I am currently working at a place called Shields, which is like a Dick's or Sports Authority kind of place, but just like a North Dakota started one. They're kind of expanding. I think they're opening one in Arizona here soon. So they're kind of expanding south. But yeah, it's more of a northwest thing.
Sure.
But I'm going to school right now. I'm transferring actually to Fort Lewis College in Durango here this next year. And I'm a business management major, hopefully with a minor in marketing as well. But my real goal is I want to get out of school and then not use my major and like make my own business and kind of just like do the entrepreneur thing is my idea. I would love to do some stuff in media, and I really just love cinematography and stuff, and making some scooter films here because I'm moving in with Sam Weens. I don't know if you know who he is, but he is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's a scooter rider. Rides for I think AO's Flow Team or something. But
I love his meme page.
Yeah, yes. Support your local gas stations, the move. So we're going to be working a lot on support your local gas station stuff and also on the podcast stuff and Outlook. But as far as like 10 years, I would want to. Oh gosh, I haven't really thought about this question myself because 31. I hope that I have, that I own at least a couple properties. I like for sure. Investment is a big thing for me. I want to be still working somehow in action sports, or just scootering or action sports. Either way, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, just kind of like financially stable is really the goal at the end of the day. So be able to live comfortably and not worry about where my next meal is coming from or my next grocery run or whatever. That's going to happen for a little bit. It always does for everybody. But where I live doesn't really matter. It's more like at 31, I hope to be, starting a family and hopefully have like a kid or two and be married. That'd be cool. So I'll still be riding something, either scootering or mountain biking or something. But yeah, that's me in 10 years. I haven't answered that question before, so thanks for asking it. But
no worries.
I have one more question for you.
Go for it.
What is your meaning of life, and like what do you wake up to in the morning, and like what makes you click? Yeah, you can think about this one. This one's hard.
Yeah, that's a tough question. Honestly, I think I would say probably just making memories with the people closest to me. Like especially with my girlfriend or, some of my best friends. Like just getting out is what like really makes me have like a great day. Especially because we have honestly like some really good weather down here. It could be very sunny, but like not that hot. And you're not like sweating like just not sweating like so much.
Yeah.
But just getting out and like experiencing life, like I'd say that's the best thing. Like playing sports, going hiking, going surfing, just traveling. Like that's pretty much all I want to do, and that's why I want to work so hard. Like now to get financially stable to a point where I can just do that all the time and not have to just worry about anything. But I don't know. That's a tough question. Like just honestly, just making the most out of my life and not wasting a lot of time.
Yeah,
we don't really get a lot of time on this place.
I think it's really cool that you're talking about like work hard while you're young and then kind of build your base, and then you can kind of coast a little bit more as you get older. Is a really smart plan.
Exactly.
Do you hope in marketing to be doing more like video stuff, more photo stuff? Like what would your specialty be, I guess?
I want to do more, just more like advertising, more focusing on numbers. Big numbers guy.
Okay.
Except for calculus. Anything calculus, fucking hate it.
Yeah, I 100% agree. That's why I changed majors. I was engineering. Calc 2 was like, nope.
Yeah, dude, if you would have hit Calc 3 too, like fuck that. I couldn't even get past Calc 2. You got me bent. I'm good at that.
Yeah.
But wait, what were we talking about?
We were talking about like you wanted to do advertising stuff.
Yeah. For me, like that would just be sick. Like if I were to become like a chief marketing officer, like that's kind of the goal. Like I don't really have too many like career goals just because I don't really know like where I want to take it. Like if real estate's going up more than my other career, then I'm gonna follow that. And then same with the marketing. If that's like going more up, and then I can like help like take those funds to fuel real estate and like, bring in all this revenue. Like that's kind of the goal. But I don't know. Yeah. I just want to get to a place where I can let not only like me, but my girlfriend and my family, like just live comfortably. Mm-hmm. That's the goal. Take care of myself and then take care of my family. And then
yourself comes first.
Live life.
For sure.
Has to.
Yeah, it has to. advice do you have for people who are working on Instagram edits and Instagram content? What do you like to see on Instagram? Since I'm sure you look through a lot of that. As a social media manager, what have you found that works? And what advice do you have for kids that are working on building their social media?
Dude, I was really hoping you were going to ask this question. But biggest thing, please, just with the music, pick something original. I am so tired of listening to the same 10 songs every single day. Like, I watch probably like 100, 150 scooter edits like every single day, at least. Sundays, it's more like 500. But I see the same song every like few scrolls, and it pains me inside. But I guess to grow your Instagram account and, you know, maybe make stuff that gets a little more views, you kind of have to separate yourself from other people. I think like making like a niche for yourself and, you know, being able to like distinguish, like, that's that guy, like that's John, you know, you see that guy, that he has his own like little style. And I think that's really like what helps bring people like the most kind of views and just originality to it. But also I'd say it goes along, like filming goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
The way your camera is placed, how close you are, how zoomed in you are plays a big role. And I'd say the kids that hang further back, their videos don't do as well, if that makes sense. Like if you, I'm gonna take my AirPods out. All right. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I would say the kids that are like at least like 10 to 15 feet away, like the kids that really aren't taking it seriously, you know, I'd say for them, like, it sucks to say, but you kind of can't expect big results when you're not like, your like best content. Yeah. And I feel like that's one of the biggest downfalls of these kids. And you know, a kid that films like a video, maybe like 20 feet away doing like a double tail whip, which is sick. If that's like, you know, your latest trick, awesome. Like I'm stoked to see that. Yeah. But then we'll be like, hey, like, can I get sponsored? Or like how many likes for like a free deck? Like, oh, thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That way.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I think I've always had this problem. I'm sure a lot of kids also have this problem, but it's just like, if you like, you can't film and ride at the same time. Exactly. So you like, it's hard to have somebody that's going to film your clips the way you want them to be filmed, because that's like almost more important than the trick itself.
Yes.
So what do you have advice for like helping kids either find filmers or what to tell your filmers what to do? Is there any like, obviously you like closer clips and they do better because you can see the trick better. But yeah. And then what editing software do you use?
Yeah. Okay. So first, for the kids that don't have a homie to film you, invest in a tripod. Honestly, you can get one off Amazon for like $10, maybe 15. Get a good one. Because I had a really flimsy one and I broke my screen because the wind pushed it back. Yeah. That was fun. But invest in a tripod and just try and get like, you know, a decent angle. It doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah. Just remember, Instagram clout is pretty pointless. It doesn't really mean.
That's true.
But then again, I also get it. You know, every action sports person has an Instagram account, has been there where they want to get a little bit of clout. They want to get their Instagram going. Yeah. They want to get that fame. So I get it. If you have a homie though, this is what my friends do. They will watch the clips back after I film it. So I don't know if you know who OG Blake is.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So that's one of the kids that I ride with a little bit. He's sick. Yeah. I hate filming for him though, because I'll film a clip. As soon as the clip is done, he comes back and watches it. Then he'll go again. So if it takes like 20 attempts, he watches it back
every time.
That's 20 times.
Yeah.
But I'd say like my advice to those out there, just talk with your homie. You know, communication is everything, whether it's like a relationship, a job, you know, having friends, just communication is key.
Yeah.
Kind of show them like what you want to do. Get them, like, if you have a vision in your mind, help your friend like see that with you.
Yeah.
And I think that'll help take your Instagram clips up. And then for editing software, I use iMovie. It's just something simple on my phone, super easy. If I was doing like bigger projects, or like I wanted to make it like, you know, the best type of edit I ever could, I would do Adobe Premiere.
Yep. Premiere Pro is the way to go. That's what I use for almost everything. So I love it.
Yeah.
But if you can edit it on a computer, do it. Like, your production quality will be so much better, but it does take a lot more time. So
exactly.
And lots of people are more concerned about quantity over quality, unfortunately. So
yeah, I would even say like going the quality route is definitely kind of the way to go.
Yeah.
For me, as a writer growing up, I always kind of felt like I didn't want to post like clips that I could already do. I only wanted to post like new learns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like you kind of have to have like a even mix of both, like tricks that you can do, tricks that just look good.
Yeah.
But honestly, just post whatever makes you happy. Like,
exactly.
Like whatever you think embodies you as a person, just post it.
I'm going to repeat this. I repeated this last podcast, I'm pretty sure, but I'm going to do it again. You are the person who's going to watch your Instagram clips more than anybody else. So if you don't like it, don't post it. It's that easy.
And like, let's be real. Maybe like you'll get like a rewatch like twice.
Yeah, exactly.
So someone that goes onto your Instagram account, they'll like watch it once and then never again.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, thank you, Matisse, for coming on today. It's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, of course, dude. Thank you.
I hope you have a great rest of your day. For anybody listening, thank you guys again for listening all the way through this podcast. It means the world to me. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. That'd be awesome. And then for Apple Music, if you guys are on there, 5 stars down below, that would really help this podcast grow. So thank you guys. And thanks to Matisse again for taking the time out to sit down with me. It's quite a kind of a dedication because it's this whole hour. So thank you. Yeah, guys, have a great rest of your day, night, or evening, no matter what time it is. And I'll see you guys in the next one.